And good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Thursday, September the 29th, 2022. I'm beginning by, I've updated the labeling. And as I had been suggesting yesterday, that we either were going to have a small B wave here, and then a run again, another leg up. But I had felt that this also could be A, B. Let me just open that up. How about that? It could have been A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a C wave. So I have labeled it wave 4, but I may be jumping the gun there. So again, just to do a quick review of where we are and what we've done, I continue to feel that we've completed minor wave 3. We're in, and then we had the minor wave 4. I do think that that's complete. If I balance it out against what's really has taken place in the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ actually did go and move below yesterday's Globex lows. And so that's why I thought, okay, wave 4 likely complete and coming down in a 5. Now, if I count just some of the internals here, I could put 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, and then a 4, and we do one more downside. I would expect the market to kind of come down in this minor wave 5, at least likely down into here. So I think we could have an additional strong down day tomorrow, comparable to what we saw today, but that would be in the 5th wave. So we'll start with that support, which still remains right there at that low at 36.13. Then we have 35.70 and then 35.26. We have much lower numbers, but I'm not expecting this 5th wave to actually take us that far. It can. Now, again, each day we've come in and the market feels like, okay, we're going to buy it, and then they don't, and they start selling and they don't let up. So again, as we move into tomorrow's expiration, a lot can happen. And for today, again, much of it rallied, or not rallied, but was based around Apple. Now, at one point, there's 102 NASDAQ stocks in the NASDAQ 100. And I only noticed that there were 3 that were green and none of them was up over $1. So that would have put 99 were down on the day, or down at that time. So what I found interesting is that they just bailed everything today. And that, if we take a look, the long bond did not drop the 2 that it put on yesterday, but it took back about half. The dollar initially rallied, then got hit again. And this time they didn't step up to buy it. They didn't start the short covering rally. So what I also talked about yesterday was, well, this could be the one-hit wonder, and that's it. Now, normal situations, I would have been like, no, I think that we probably come down in a B wave and rally again to put in a C wave of that minor 4. Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But having said that, we, at this juncture in the S&P, we must allow for an ABC flat. And what that would entail, this is wave A, this is wave B, and we get a C wave that takes us back to the area of yesterday's highs, which approximately should hold still below the 200 EMA and SMA, which are 37.57 to 37.69, I think it is. Actually, let me go from here. 67.55 to 67. We have those. And then we have that resistance also right there at 54. So we've got a little cluster. I would think that the market may have a little bit of trouble getting above that, unless there's just this really push to move higher in terms of the expiration. But it's going to be iffy. It's going to be I think it could be a very interesting expiration. Because there's a lot of adjustment going on today, a lot of position switching, I would imagine, going on today. And so I would expect an additional amount tomorrow. If we rally hard tomorrow, it's going to shove stocks like Apple up through all of those strikes as it goes running back. And it gets intensified on expiration day. So what we'll see is as things move up, and again, now we're back down below 150. So there are strikes at 150, 149, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, every dollar. So if we get a big move going in here in either direction, it could start flipping through strike prices very quickly, and that'll force the adjustments in the stocks. And that kind of goes for Apple, AMD, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Netflix, of course, because there was a big buildup yesterday. The world's all rosy for Netflix. And then also Tesla, which did take a little bit of a smack today. So bear all that in mind. And then we need to be prepared for both directions. If wave 4 is complete and we're coming down in the fifth wave, definitively, I'd be looking for a break below yesterday's lows, and that's 36.13. And I would look for a break below 3,600, heading down towards 35.69. And then we have 35.26, 34.94, or about 3,500, and then 34.65, 100%. So in other words, wave 5 equal to wave 3 would be at 33.87. I'm not looking for that tomorrow. That would be a gigantic drop. But again, as overbought or oversold as the market might be, we can crash. And I'm just going to leave it out there. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but don't be hung up on that oh, the S&P can't move that far, because it can. And if it got swinging and it got really ugly, so to speak, it most definitively can. The S&P was down over 100 at one point today. Okay, so that's the S&P. Upside, I think, will be very limited. I think we can get back up towards the 200s. And I think that topside resistance will hold right there. And then it'll be an ABC flat. And that would then the wave 4 would get moved over to there. And then we still would be expecting a stronger downside. But that could wait. That may not happen then tomorrow. So again, both sides of the picture right now, so we can fit into what will happen tomorrow. And then downside, of course, a continuation from here brings us below 36.13, and then we have all of these support zones. And then again, if they do this overnight and we complete wave 5 down, then we're going to start, because that would then complete intermediate wave 3. And then we'll be starting an intermediate fourth wave. And that will be much bigger than what we're seeing now. Even if this goes up here and they still come flying down, we would still, I would be expecting that the intermediate fourth wave will be, again, bigger, larger, 10 times, I'm going to say as an estimate, than what we've seen thus far. So it's a tradable low. Let's put it that way. Over in the NASDAQ, same story, except the NASDAQ did finally break below 11,133. Actually, it was 141, excuse me. This low, 11,141. So it did break it. In fact, it got down to 11,000. Let me see what this guy is. 11,091. I was expecting 11,054, but it continues to hold above the June low at 11,068. So I'm still looking for that to break. So same deal though here. AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, if we're in wave 5, or it's AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C, even though we came down below. It's not that large of a break, where wave 4 could be an irregular, and then we come back up, and I would be expecting it then to go above 11,613. That would be quite the trip. So they'd have to repeat all that energy from yesterday again tomorrow. But here's the kicker. They can. It's an expiration. You're going to start shoving things around and forcing the markets in one direction or the other. You got a lot of adjustments going on. If they're forcing it up, there will be adjustments. So I don't discount the possibility of either a stronger slide lower or a run back up to yesterday's highs, as this then would form somewhat of a flat fourth wave, a flat ABC for minor wave 4. Then we still would be looking for minor wave 5. Again, a continued drop from here should bring us down towards 10,920, 10,825, 10,734, and possibly as low as 10,500. But I'm looking for the fifth wave to then complete the intermediate degree third wave and set the stage for a larger fourth wave on an intermediate degree bounce. So that's really it for today. The larger picture remains totally the same. Tomorrow we have personal income, and let me just double check what that is for us. Tomorrow we have personal income and outlays. So, and that comes pre-market. So it's marked red. It can have an effect, but tending not to, in my mind, but we'll see. So again, that's pre-market, that's pre our opening, and we'll see what the market wants to do from there. So we have both sides. We have an upside and a downside. Larger picture remains the same. So none of that is really changing. And again, that for us here on these updates would, again, I would be updating that on Sunday and hopefully being able to do that as an Eye of the Storm podcast, which puts a little, I take a closer look at any changes necessary for the larger picture, just bringing it all back in, giving more detail, putting more detail into the analysis for both. So again, for tomorrow, it's expiration. We have a lot of play going on in Apple right now. This is 2 days where the volatility in Apple has been kicked up quite substantially. So I suspect that that's going to continue. A lot of stock trades in that thing again today, about I think 125 million or so. And that's a lot of stock, a lot of options. So maybe a lot of adjustments are being made today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, other larger tech companies are also going to be on display. So we have AMD, we have Amazon, we have Google, we have Metaverse, we have Microsoft, Netflix, NVIDIA, and Tesla, all going to be going through gyrations in terms of how and what price things will expire at. So I'm hoping for some fireworks. I'm hoping that we get some decent moves. Today wasn't so bad, not the easiest thing to trade, but again, if you can really stay focused and make your moves within that first hour and a half to 2 hours, those are the money makers. After that, it can get a little sloppy. It can get a little bit weird. Today, not so bad. We did have some solid moves after, but because of Apple and flipping and flying all around, things got truncated in one direction. They'll move really quick in another. So that may still be the case. All right. I'm going to end it there, try to keep these a little bit shorter for us right now. And our next update will be on Sunday, October the 2nd.